may I say that my career began with working, I was a journalist for 6 years, and I worked at a daily paper. So I have a little bit experience about this field. But now my identity is to be a researcher, and this was the reason why I go out of journalism. Short historical overview of Slovenian situation. Slovenia is a small country, and we have 2 million inhabitants. So Slovenia is a former Yugoslav republic and independent from 1991. And I will represent the impact which was from OECD international research of adult literacy, which was results were published 2000. And unfortunately, Slovenia was among the countries with the lowest achievements of adults in all 3 measured scales. The prevailing, this was tricky situation. The prevailing public opinion in that time was that the results released were shocking for public and professionals. So the prevailing public opinion at that time was that educational system in Slovenia is very good. And so you can understand there was a huge shock. However, in these respects, the methodology was questioned, and translations were questioned, the implementation of the survey in Slovenia, and so on. So we must ask ourselves why, where is the reason for such public opinion? We could explain with that the state in that time has been investing decades in the public educational system that was inclusive, especially for children from working class families. We have socialist orientation, and in our school system there was no alternative for public school system at all. And after this shock, this cultural shock, 10 years of professional development we see in this area of education. And what are the advantages of this period? There are more investment in research of these topics. Then several expert bases for key strategical development documents were prepared, which included the results from IALS and urged for changes. And some other strategies were prepared for raising literacy skills, like Adult Literacy Strategy 2003, National Literacy Strategy 2006, or Strategy for Raising Basic Skills of Employees 2007. Then, if we look at the disadvantages of this period, the implementation of the educational initiatives remained in small scale. There was slow and irregular public funding. It was burdened with heavy administration from ESF funds or regulars, and annually 2,000 to 4,000 low-educated adults participated in those initiatives, but the plan from the adult literacy strategy was 25 annually. Participation in adult education in that time in general decrease, especially in the periods with no funding. After the cultural shock, there was new interest for what's going on with Slovenian school system, and Slovenia was involved in PISA, and 2006 first PISA results are published in Slovenia, and there was a little bit relieving situation because the country was among average performers in overall, and especially in reading literacy, also in reading literacy, but next round showed a tendency of stagnation. Therefore, there emerged worrying concerns in public opinion about the reading literacy of 15 years old youngsters. And reading has had, you must understand that reading has had for a small nation such Slovenia a historical value. But now, in this situation of PISA results, researchers were not able to explain fully why the results are below expectations. What the release of the IALS data in 2000 what was the situation then? First, our institution, CIA, prepared press conference and organized discussion at the conference and invited there a couple of respected experts from different disciplines to help to explain why these results. But researchers were not prepared to reaction from media. And there is one of the memory of the person who was in this situation. But the consequences were journalists anticipated a sensation. These are the first one. And there were headlines such as 77% of adult Slovenian functionally illiterate. At the other hand, especially in expert groups, there were doubts expressed about the methodological approach, and directress of CIA of our institution was invited to national TV in prime time news for a short review, but she must in some way defended researchers because this interview go in this direction. And after sensational news and headlines, the interest of public media disappear after first 3 months. Our institution and later also Slovenian Reading Association regularly then invited public media to celebrate the International Literacy Day, but they not respond so well. But some media regularly publish the data and news about the literacy statistics till now. Media and public opinion after IALS, public attention has focused more on youngsters. This is illustration about our discussion yesterday, I think, and today. There were a few national conferences, and it's important that teachers confirm that there is such trend. Then public opinion has been divided in two opposing views. One part think that the Slovenian educational system is good, and second part expressing serious concerns that the educational system is not good at all. So the researchers was pushed in some way that they wanted to understand better the state of art in Slovenia, but in that time policy had no interest. So we experienced many obstacles to join the PIAAC survey, and here are possible explanation or reasons why, but I will continue with what we plan to do now, because now we are in front of the press conference at the start of school holidays, and we plan to have a Ministry of Education there. And our main purpose is release of the main results, but we wish to minimize the doubts in the research methodological aspects and instruments. So we, in the past, we start to work with Brian to doubt about these OECD approaches, so that we could understand deeper what is the matter in this respect. And we prepare then after the school holidays, because we need more time to understand better the data, PIAAC National Expert Conference, where we want to start more deep professional discussion with different angles. And why so-called strategy for the release of the PIAAC data? Because of experience from the IALS, and we learn from experiences from other countries, from first round, and mainly we want to reach as many people as possible who understand that skills are important for development. And how this strategy emerged. The start was at the beginning of the PIAAC project. Then we work closely with one appointed body at the ministry, and we inform the policymakers a lot about the methodology, procedures, intentions, and so on. And now we are in final phase. But basic idea is to inform public consistently as good as possible about the results. I will now conclude. we have different media and professional events, but I want to, in the past, I want to conclude with this thought. As adult educator, my mission or our mission is to empowering all adults, no matter if they are policymakers, different expert groups, publics, or different groups, vulnerable groups, or so on. In that respect, we understand that it is not need to be afraid of international comparable data, but we must be cautious. Our concerns must be not to misinterpret them or be too fast or too quick, yes. We must concern how to understand them properly and how to think and act in a humanistic way in spite of different interests we experienced. Thank you.